Okay, there we go. All right, so we're discussing the learning map that I taught to 5 of your students last week. Go ahead.
Okay, so I really liked how you were positive with them. Thank you, James. You can do it. You told me the answer. Let's think about what we need. Good job, Kaylin. You even added because.
Okay, so that
You're writing
encouragement.
nicely. You are encouraging the children. So that was a positive. And now suggestions?
Yeah, any
Okay.
constructive criticism.
Okay, so especially when you don't know the children, I would set up expectations. Okay, so when you're working with me today, I need you to have your hands at your, together. I need you not to blurt. Be a good listener. What do you tell me how we can be good listeners?
Yeah.
And then set it up because you don't know the children. Okay, and so when I was hearing, you had to keep going, shh, shh.
when someone else is
Right,
talking. Yeah.
right. Okay, so that was a little distracting.
And then remind them instead of,
Right. And only remind them a little bit, and then there's a consequence, at least in my classmates. Okay, and then decide, is this a reading activity or a comprehension? Like, was it a guided reading? Because if it wasn't really, so I would suggest that maybe they read it orally. Instead of, we used to call that round robin, like when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And you sat in a big circle, and 30 kids later, you come back.
So less focus on
The reading and more on the strategy. So if you did it again, like say you came back in my class and you did it again with a different group, maybe read it chorally, it chorally again, because that way if it's comprehension, you want them to know what they're reading. Where if they're focused on, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to read by myself, they're not even
on what's
listening,
going on,
what they're
word for
going on.
word,
Right,
instead of the
right.
story together.
Okay.
I like that.
So, because I know James especially, he couldn't read it. And then with the writing, so what did his dad get? See, I didn't really read this.
Oh, it's very basic about a
I
hat. Yeah, it
listened,
was very
yes,
very
and
basic.
they didn't know what, you said something about it was a bad hat, and nobody knew why it was a bad hat. Okay, let's see. You can do it. So that would be some of my things. Make sure that whatever you're doing with them, is it a reading lesson? If it's comprehension, that's understanding the print versus knowing how to read the print. 'Cause that, and that might help control some of the behavior that was in the group.
For comprehension, do you normally find things online that are pre-done like this, or do you normally make them? Well, you probably use the
There's
same
so many
thing year
different
after
kinds
year.
of comprehension. Like a lot of my comprehension is based on what they've read in a book.
In the phonics
And
books.
then, not just those, but
Oh,
any
all.
kind of books. Okay, when they bring, my higher readers will bring their own literature books over and they'll read a part, and then they have to give me a retell of what they've read.
Do they write it out, or is it just speaking with you?
It depends on their level of learning. So see, in your little group, it was hard for James to write it out.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But then you can have an alternative for him. He can retell it to you. The other kids could write it out, or you could take dictation from the ones who, it's going to be too much of a struggle. And then you're getting into a writing lesson, helping them sound out and all.
When
Or
it needs
writing,
focus on
guided writing when
comprehension.
it's
Okay.
comprehension. So, you do it at their level, right? Some of the other ones
Yeah,
can do it.
and then I incorporated afterwards. I had them draw their hat.
Perfect.
So
Yes.
for those kids, so they still understood the main idea
Right.
of the story being a hat.
And
Okay.
you could also have them draw first,
Okay.
because then they'll have a visual to write about.
The expectation of what we're going to be talking about. Okay, that's not a that's
Or
a
even
good way to mix it up.
or even after they've read it a couple times with
And
you,
before
then
answering
draw
the questions.
and then they can use that. Because I did hear you say, which was great. Okay, describing words. So if they drew it, they would have
Okay. Yeah.
some words in their mind to write about.
And you could probably mix it up from lesson to lesson what you do first, so you're not always.
Right,
I like
doing
that.
the same thing.
Okay, so that's definitely then how I would modify it next
Uh-huh.
time. Okay.
Just their levels. And again, if you knew the children, you would be able to meet their needs better.
Definitely.
Right,
And that
right.
group was diverse, so the levels of
Were
those
diverse,
were very
right.
diverse.
They were my
Okay.
lower children. But even in that lower group,
Yeah.
we had Alyssa was not special needs. She was second language.
Okay.
Kyler was a higher second language. Kyler actually reads better than Alyssa. But Alyssa has more language.
Yeah,
English
he
language
was
than
very
Kyler.
soft spoken.
Yes,
Definitely.
yes. So it's funny how just even in that.
Yeah, and that ties into planning based on student learning characteristics. So as, you know, when I have my own classroom, that won't be something that's an issue. So,
Right.
I mean, I think they did really well for being thrown into something.
Oh, wait,
that-
right. I know, especially
Yeah.
outside. It's sort of fun.
Yeah,
No, so
definitely.
that was good.
Yeah.
And
So, oh, go ahead.
what
Sorry.
else? No.
So I would agree that this was a little bit below your students for
For
first
some
grade.
of them.
Yeah.
But for like James,
Yeah.
it wasn't. But you would have had to help read. That's why, again, you know, if you did choral reading, then the children who can't read those words, at least they're reading the ones they know and they're hearing the ones they
And
don't
that's
know.
done more commonly in comprehension
Right.
lessons then. Okay. That's not something that I'd looked at before. So that's definitely useful. So,
And again, there's different ways to do comprehension lessons.
yeah, definitely. So I like the questions. But this is also something where you can find a simple story, and then I would have probably liked to write my own questions, where I can even edit this out and completely write my own.
Right.
So,
Right. What did his dad get? And then to help them rephrase, like if you say, okay, what did his dad get? Have them respond in a complete sentence, right? And then what did his dad get? His dad got, and then let everybody say his
are
dad
most of them
got.
writing complete sentences?
Oh yes,
speaking
I'll
of?
have to show you
Okay.
their writing. You'd be
Okay.
amazed, I think.
Good.
And then why was he mad when he saw it? And it's funny because when I was watching that, I didn't really listen to this
Uh-huh.
because I kept hearing more of a guided
Yeah.
reading lesson there, so I sort of tuned out. But why was his dad mad? I did not like it. I put water. So did anybody ever say why he was mad?
Well, because he lost it, which
Okay.
the story doesn't explicitly say again.
Right.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
more discussion maybe before they started doing this.
Yeah, and maybe with the short paragraphs, checking, like a check after
Right.
each one, so we can discuss what happened.
Right.
Yeah. So this was one of the better stories I found. And
Uh-huh.
There's still ways I would even modify the story itself.
Now, did they have to be able to read it and then do it, or could you have read something to them? With
It
the
was.
picture book.
I think either or could.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. Where with this group, maybe you're right. The choral
Read.
reading.
And several times
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. That's something when I've been subbing the last couple days that have always been
Oh,
on the
good.
lesson plan, so it's been
Right.
helping a lot. Definitely
Wonderful.
being in the classrooms.
Uh-huh.
So
It's so different.
It
It
is.
makes, it's easy for them to give you an assignment
Uh-huh.
and say, go do it. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of teaching is hands-on, don't you think?
yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Oh man,
and not
I've
just-
my feet the last couple days.
Oh.
I've been in classrooms. Today was a half day. Yesterday and Monday were full days. One was second grade, one was first grade. So it was a lot of fun, but it's
a lot of
Yeah,
work. I
it is,
know. I know.
definitely. And
Must
that's
be
why, even the past couple days now, looking back at this, I already knew all the things that I would change just
Right.
being in a classroom.
I figured you would.
So
yeah.
which is great because obviously my student teaching for a whole semester and stuff. That's where I'm gonna get all this kind of stuff.
I know.
So
Hi. Sorry.
no
Sorry, I just
problem.
need to drop this off.
Perfect.
If you can fill that out, I'm gonna do a drawing tomorrow for Starbucks cards.
Oh,
so-
wow. Thank you. I hope you're not paying
If
out
you
of
have
pocket for
questions,
that.
let me know.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Oh.
So yeah, I
Okay.
think that's everything that I would change. I don't know if there's anything you have to add.
No, I think a lot of it's just practice, and
Yeah.
of course it would be easier if you had your
Knowledge
set
of
of
the
kids
students.
and you would know.
Yeah, definitely.
And if not, it was, it takes practice.
Yeah.
What else? Okay. Our conversation's gonna be like, okay.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna turn that.